Born the 2nd of July 1990, making Margot Robbie as of now just 33 years old, which I find hard to believe. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that she looks older, I'm just saying that she seems like she should be older. Maybe it's all perspective, right? I guess it's because she's such a dominating force within the movie industry that she seems to me like she should be older. She seems like she's been around the block. She seems like she's been around for a long time and as such should be older. But she's not. She's only 33. And relative to these youngsters today who are up and at it and within the big bold world of Hollywood, she's actually made her career a lot later on in life. But I digress. This is the story of Margot Robbie and how she found fame. And throughout this video, I'm going to be giving you some little fun facts and little snippets of trivia. So make sure you stay around for those. Back to the story at hand. She was born in Queensland, Australia. Her father is a man called Doug Robbie, a former farm owner and sugarcane tycoon. Her mother is Sari Kelsler, who is a physiotherapist. She's the second youngest of 4 siblings. She's got her older siblings, Anya and Lekian, and a younger brother called Cameron, which, first fact of the day, that is also my name. It's got no impact on Margot Robbie or to this story, and I doubt you care that much about it. But just in case you was curious, my name is Cameron. At age 8, her mother enrolled her into circus school where she excelled in trapeze. Yes, that is right, Margot Robbie did indeed attend circus school. After that, she studied drama at Somerset College, and as a teenager, she worked 3 jobs simultaneously. She tended a bar, she cleaned houses, and she worked at Subway. Not the underground tram thing, no, Subway the sandwich shop. Which I've got to stop the story again, and I'm sorry to keep on intruding like this, but can you imagine the bragging rights of having Margot Robbie make you a Subway sandwich? Like, if you grew up in that town and you used to go Subway like once or twice a week, maybe you went Subway on your lunch break, and it was Margot Robbie who served you, you would now be that person saying, oh yeah, before she hit Hollywood, before she became a big star, she used to make my lunch, she used to make my sandwiches. No one would believe you. But there are people out there who have that bragging right because she did indeed work at Subway. Just think, next time you're in Subway or McDonald's or wherever it is you get your lunch from, the person serving you could be a future star. You just wouldn't know, would you? I mean, how much attention do you even pay to the people who are serving you at these places, right? You'd barely pay any attention, so for the most part, I doubt anyone even remembers being served on Margot Robbie, but someone must have done it, right? Because she did work at Subway. Anyway, back to the story, and I think this is a perfect time to stop for one of those fun fact snippets that I told you about. Fun fact, Margot Robbie loves the show Love Island. She's a massive Love Island fan. I've actually done 2 Love Island videos on this channel before. One is a Where Are They Now from the first ever Love Island, and the second one is Why Love Island Lost Its Edge, which then makes me think, if Margot Robbie is such a big Love Island fan, surely on YouTube she's looking for Love Island videos. And as such, maybe she's came across one of my videos, which means when I make new videos, they're recommended on her feed. Which means when I do this video, it gets recommended on Margot Robbie's feed. And as such, Margot Robbie could be watching this video right now. In which case, hey Margot, how are you doing? How's life? How's life been treating you? How's your family? How's your mother? How's your father? Do comment below. Let us know how you are. Once again, back to the story at hand. Margot's first acting roles came when she was in high school. She starred in 2 super low-budget independent thriller films called Vigilante, which is this one here on screen, and a film called I.C.U, which I've read the synopsis of, I've seen the trailer, I've seen the snippets, and honestly, I kind of get the gist of the film, but to me it just makes no sense. She made her first television debut in 2008 as a guest role as Caitlin Brantford in the drama series City Homicide. Following this, she was in the children's television series The Elephant Princess, in which she starred alongside fellow Australian and soon-to-be super famous himself, the masterful, the talented, the hunkiest of all hunks, only second to his own brother, Liam Hemsworth. And I think this is a great time for yet another fun fact snippet. So let's go for another Margot Robbie fun fact. She still, to this day, cherishes one of her childhood toys. She's got a little bunny teddy, and she sleeps with it every single night. Which is the perfect time to ask you a question. Do you keep your childhood toy? Do you sleep with a teddy bear even though you're older than you should probably be sleeping with a teddy bear? If so, let me know in the comments. Personally, I've not kept any of my childhood toys, mainly because I ruined them. I can barely keep a pair of shoes for 3 months without the soles peeling off. So I had no chance in keeping any of my childhood toys. They were all ruined, played to death. Back to the story, Margot recalled on the Graham Norton show that she used to call Fremantle Media on a daily basis. She said, "One day I got put through by accident to the casting director for Neighbours, where she said she was in town working on something, and the casting director asked how old she was. She responded that she was 17, and then she was told, 'We're looking for exactly that. Come in and audition.' Which leads us to June 2008, when she got the role of Donna Friedman, a role on Neighbours that was meant to be a guest character, but Margot was promoted to the regular cast after she made her debut. And this is when people really start knowing her. This is when her name starts being recognised as a character on Neighbours. I never watched Neighbours growing up. My nana used to love it, so it was always there in the background, but personally, I never watched it. After about 3 years of Neighbours, she moved to America to take on Hollywood. Shortly after arriving in America, she landed the role of Laura Cameron, a newly trained flight attendant in the period drama series Pan Am. That was in 2011. The series premiered to high ratings and positive reviews, but was cancelled after one series due to failing ratings. She then made her feature film debut in Richard Curtis' romantic comedy About Time. Margot's breakthrough came the same year with the role as Naomi in The Wolf of Wall Street. And once again, I guess this is one of those perspective things, but I can't believe that was her breakout role. I always thought like she was popular before then, and I guess with Neighbours, she was quite well known. About Time, that was a good film, she would have been known from then. But this is what's considered her breakout role, which doesn't seem that long ago. But like I said at the beginning, maybe it is because she's such a dominating force. I mean, take her character in that film. She did a fantastic job. She played that character perfectly. And she was up against some established actors at that time. You know who else was going up for that role? Amber Heard, which I guess we don't speak about anymore, but at the time, we spoke about her. Amber Heard, Olivia Wilde, Blake Lively. These are all people that Margot Robbie beat to the punch, even though she was relatively unestablished. In fact, she got so much success from that film, she considered leaving acting. She considered quitting, but her mother convinced her to stay around. And hey, here's another fun fact interlude. This one more relative or more related to the story. She champions women storytellers. So she knew that she had all this fame now. She had this platform. She could inspire other women and she could give other women a platform of their own. So she set up her own production company with the aim to produce more female-driven projects. Margot and who would be her future husband, Tom Ackerley, and their respected longtime friends, Sophia Kerr and Josie McNamara, started their own production company called Lucky Chap Entertainment. The company was founded in 2014 and its name was inspired by Charlie Chaplin. Now, one thing I don't understand about this is why they named it after a man when the aim was to produce more female-driven projects. Could they not name it after some kind of female actor? I don't know, but what do I know? What do I know? Anyway, under the reins of Lucky Chap Entertainment, she did produce more films, some films which she was in, films like I, Tonya and Birds of Prey. So she split her time respectably between acting and producing. It's also Lucky Chap Entertainment which got to produce Barbie. And I don't have to tell you anything about Barbie because everyone's going on about it right now, so we all know that. But it was Margot Robbie who was meant to produce it. She wasn't even meant to be in the film. And I'm not going to talk too much about Barbie because I've done a video on Barbie. I've also done a podcast episode on Barbie, not so much the film, but the doll and the dark side of its origins. But what I will say is, did you know that it was meant to be Amy Schumer who was playing Barbie? Now, Amy Schumer is known to be more like a slapstick comedy gal, right? She's more satire driven. Due to conflicting schedules, she couldn't take the role, so Margot Robbie, who was already producing the film, jumped on in, which then makes me think, was the role rewritten for Margot Robbie, or is she just taking the place of Amy Schumer? In which case, is Margot Robbie gonna be playing more satire? I don't know, but I'm not going to question it too much because the film comes out in like 5 days' time. What's the point in me giving all these predictions when we're all going to know about it? Is it going to be satire? I think it probably will be, but we shall see. Now, throughout this time, Margot Robbie acted in a load of big films and became the star which she is today. We don't need to talk about that too much because this is all about before she was famous, and that we've already covered perfectly. Everything after that is her being famous. So the rest of this video, I will just give a little bit of chit chat, a little bit of talky talk about Margot Robbie and about my thoughts. First and foremost, Harley Quinn. Wasn't she perfect for that role? How good? That was one of the roles for me, which I really learned about who Margot Robbie is. Because the character she did in Wolf of Wall Street was so different, and because it was her breakout role, it seemed like maybe that's who she is in real life. We did not know. Harley Quinn was like a polar opposite character, so it gave us a different insight to who Margot Robbie is, which I found interesting. Which just goes to show how good of an actor she really is. And in doing this video, I've looked at a lot of different trailers and snippets of her early acting and her more recent acting, and I can really confidently say that I think she is a brilliant actor. And the reason, my opinion to why she's so good, is because she seemingly is a master of emotion. Like, she doesn't have to say anything. If you watch her face when she's in certain roles, her face says a lot, her body language says a lot. She can act an emotion without saying a word. And I think that's an impressive, that's a very impressive quality. And I can see that working perfectly well in Barbie. Obviously, being a doll, a lot of it is body language, right? But despite this, one thing that I came across when I was researching Margot Robbie was that she's actually been in more flops than she has successes. And look, you can look around, do some Googling, and you can see the numbers of the budget of the film she's been in and how much those films have grossed. She's actually been in more flops. There's articles calling her blockbuster poison, calling her a curse, because she's in so many flops. Most of her films, the majority of her films, have been flops. Maybe that's why Barbie's pumping so much marketing money into this project, is to make it not a flop, because hey, the probability is that if Margot Robbie is in it, it's a flop. One of those flops is this recent film called Babylon. And I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but it has confused the whole hell out of me. Because this was a massive flop, first of all. I've got some statistics for you. Babylon's budget was reportedly around $110 million, which is huge. And what it took at the box office was about 63 million, which is damn near almost half of the budget. So it's not just a flop, it is a massive flop. But I don't understand why, because it seems like it should be a really good film. I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but it looks amazing. It's all kind of about 1920s glamour, and you've got these big actors in it, and everything on paper, it should do great. So you've got Margot Robbie, who gets her own Babylons out in the film, which is a point of sale for a lot of people. You've got Brad Pitt, the one and only Brad Pitt, who is just so charismatic and brilliant in films. Why wouldn't you pay to go see him? You've got Tobey Maguire, who's back on his way up. You know, he's making his return in the movie industry. It seems like a solid cast, all set around this like 1920s glam and Hollywood and chicness. And the trailer, it looks like it's shot like a cinematic beauty, like it looks like it's beautifully shot. And yet, it was a massive failure. And here's the thing, is that because it's a bad movie? Because I personally haven't seen it, so I can't comment. And I started asking around to see what other people think of it. And most people hadn't even heard of it. And the ones who have heard of it haven't even seen it. So it's not that people are watching this and saying it's a bad film. It's that people, they're not even watching it. And then I realised this came out in 2022. And I heard nothing about it. It's not, where's the marketing for this? Where has the marketing budget gone? Because I didn't see any adverts for it. I haven't seen anything promoting this film. It's like they've put all this effort into a film, which is a real shame. And then they've put the trailer on YouTube and they said, hey, it's there if you want it. You know, the old, if you build it, they will come. And then they've done nothing to promote it. It's a total contrast to what they're doing with Barbie, where they're promoting the absolute all hell out of it. Babylon got nothing. So what I want to know is, have you seen Babylon? Let me know, is it worth seeing? Word on the street is it's going to drop on like Sky, so I can watch it on Now TV. That's going to be like next week. So I'm going to give it a watch, and I think maybe I'll do like a full video on this subject if it's something you're interested in. So then you don't even have to watch it yourself. I'll just relay the whole film and whether or not it's worth watching. But do let me know. Do let me know if you've watched it and if you think it's worthy of a watch. And with that being said, we have reached the end of this video. You know, it started, the title did suggest, with how she became famous, and I've kind of gone off on a massive tangent on the end. So if you're still with me, hey, thank you for sticking around. Please do like, subscribe, show your appreciation and all of that, and check out some of these other videos that I've got going on. Maybe you'll like some of those. Until the next video, goodbye.